Hello, friends. I hope you've been enjoying our homily series on Jesus, our high priest, as much as I have. Actually, I'm learning a whole lot along with you as we proceed, and we've had 3 weeks already, and we have only one more, and that's this coming week. We're going to hopefully put it all together. By now you know that we have a high priest and we need a high priest in our lives, and that's Jesus Christ. And that he is a legitimate high priest. And not only that, but he's our only priest. And the priest, that is the ministerial priest, like myself and Father Armando, we act in persona Christi. That is, Jesus is the one who presides over all his Mass at every location, everywhere, all the time. And it's our job, so to speak, to get out of the way and let the love of Christ and the grace of Christ flow through us to you, the common priesthood of the people. Yes, you are the priest to everyone around you. The church as a whole is presented to this world which God loves so much as a priest. And so, people don't come to church that live in your neighborhoods, you work with. You are the one administering grace to them. We've got to own this call. Now, having said that, we have a high priest. And we have a sacred space, we have a location, we have a church from which this grace flows from us into the world. The high priest always has a sanctuary. It's the way it was in the Old Testament, and it's the way it is now. And so when we walk into our church, by the way, it's called the nave. That is the place where we sit down, where the pews are, where the aisles are. And it's the same word in the Latin word that's used for navy in English. Okay, so boats. You're entering into the boat. This has a reference back to Noah and the ark, where salvation was on the ark. Everywhere else is chaos. And when you come into the church, you come into the world made right, where we as believers are in union with one another, in union with God. Okay? So this is also called the St. Peter's bark, okay? Because if you go into the Gospels and the miracle of the fishes, where Jesus told Peter to cast his net into the deep and brings all these fish into the boat's so full it's almost sinking type thing. It's all a prefiguring of the church, okay? Peter's a fisher of men. So are you. And there's also, you might notice, the architectural structure of the church. There's these wooden square buttons that seem to be all the way around the church. I, for a long time, thought that they were just ornamental, but they're not. What it does is it separates the sanctuary is kind of like a small microcosm of the world, both the physical world and the heavens and the spiritual realm, and that separates that separates the earth below and the skies and above. But it's in the sanctuary that the two come together. And the angels are just above our heads. The saints are just above our heads. The Blessed Mother just above our heads. And so when we walk into the church, that's what we're walking into. And it all converges at the altar, where Christ, our high priest, offers himself to his people. And the people come up and receive him physically through the blessed host and the blessed wine, the body and blood of Christ. And this is all done in remembrance of Christ. Now, the word remembrance is just not a mere cognitive activity of the mind where we sort of think back in the past. The Greek word there is anamnesis, okay, which is a representation of the original sacrifice of Christ, because as the author of Hebrew tells us, Jesus was sacrificed only once and for all. So, this wonderful moment that we have in our worship in the Mass brings to us back in time to the sacrifice of Christ, the original one, but also takes us in the future to the marriage supper of the Lamb. So it sort of brings together the past and the present, the future into the present. And so, and this is done at every church, and which binds us with all the other churches in the whole world. So this is the wonder of the sanctuary. And when we are finished, we have a purpose as the common priesthood of the laity. The word mass comes from the Latin word mitto, which means to send. You are sent forth. All this has a purpose, and that is for you to be the priest to everyone around you. And dear brothers and sisters, that's what it's all about. We are missionary disciples, or we are priests. We are to embrace Christ's life, and we are to reflect His love to everyone out there. So I hope that this all makes sense to you and all comes together for you as it has for me. God bless you.